All right, everybody. Really excited. I want to thank everybody who's on right now for joining us tonight. I got just a little intro before Frank gets started. I want to share some awesome stuff that's going on. I mean, really awesome stuff. So let me share my screen real quick. All right. So tonight's call is like not the first. We've done these before, but we're going to be doing a lot of free educations. We got Jay Bellicar, Jaideep, who I got some good news today. He's going to be doing heavy lift specialist. So if you come to that call, you're going to learn how to do a heavy lift. Like he took an 8-unit full gut heavy lift. He refied out his 300 grand a year later, and the cash flow is like $4,500 a month for him on an 8-unit. Okay, he's going to do a case study on a 10-unit and a 12-unit. That's going to be in like a week or so. We're going to probably do one a month. I want to do probably want to do. Please mute yourself. I want to do about 10 free educations. So from members in our community, I'm going to do them. Hadar's going to do them. And then all my members in MIH are going to be doing free educations. First, to bring a lot of free value. And second, they're learning. They're learning how to speak, how to present. And we're making them happen. All right. So here's this is brought to you by MIH Mastermind. If you never heard of my mastermind, the website's right here. My personal website for my family bio is right here, and my cell number. If you have not met me, send me a text. I have about over 5,000, 4,000 contacts, your business contacts. I network. Your network is your net worth. I'd love to meet you. I might be booked for a week or two, but I'll send you my calendar link. I would love to add free value to. This call is also brought to you by the multifamilyanalyzer.com. This is Chris Jackson's synthesis underwriting tool. It is the only tool of the MIH Mastermind. It is, I'd say, the best underwriting tool out there. Everybody in my group uses it, especially Hoon. When we go down tomorrow, I'm going to be doing for the mastermind at 10 a.m. A free call, how to build your one-pager or resume page. Here's my resume page. So now I just built this. I have 38 deals, never had it. I didn't need it. I have my website, but I had something more simple. Now I have all my accomplishments here. So for people that don't know me, a couple quick accomplishments. 12-time former award-winning chef. I'm a coach to over 150 students, members. I have 22 plus refi enrolls. I have 6 this year, which I'm refining out $750,000 just in tax-free refis. That's before $1 of my 38 properties of passive income. So if I had to pay tax on that, that would be $1 million plus. So it's 750 tax-free on the refis. I got 6 going on this year. In the last 3 years, I've closed 23 deals. I started a management company with Chris Jackson last year. Joe Sullivan is Sharpline, our company. I am a go-giver. I am getting every member in my mastermind into deals, as you'll see with Frank tonight and Bailey. Bailey joined my mastermind 19 years old. I took him under my wing, where other people probably would have just been like, well, he's a customer, push him aside. We're building community. I'm going to get to later. I took Bailey under my wing. He dropped out of college. He has a business now. He has a co-hosting business of like 20 people. He's crushing it. He got Rod Cleef on his free meetup. He got Rod Cleef on. He got other people on, like Vinny Chopra, at like 20 years old. Very impressive. So when people say, I don't have a deal, I can't talk to brokers, I can't do it, Bailey didn't have deals. He makes it happen. Okay. So we're going to be building this page tomorrow. 1 second. With that. No. Okay, good. So that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. July, I am coming to New York, where I grew up, where I lived. I'm down in Florida now because I retired, sold my restaurant. We are in New York City. We are doing a in-person meetup with Yosef and Nico, both in my mastermind. Fully booked already, 60 people. We started a waiting list to book another one for the next one. So if you guys want to attend this and you see this flyer on Facebook, message me. I'll put you on the waiting list. We're going to be doing more. Okay. Then the next one, that's on Friday. On Thursday, the 21st, we're going to be doing it in Harrison, New York, with Francesca and Sean. Sean's in Jake and Gino, and Francesca's in both. She's in my mastermind also. I helped her start this mastermind. This meetup. Sorry, not mastermind. This one, she has a little bit of room, I think. She could fit up to 100, so we have some room left. If you guys are in the New York area, Here's this picture. I put this post up. Justin is in Sacramento. He's flying from Sacramento to New York. He's coming Thursday and Friday. Justin's in my mastermind. He's 27 years old. At 26 years old, his first year, got him into a 10 unit direct to seller. We taught him how to do direct to seller. Then he didn't do any more deals. We didn't want him to. He spent 1 year with a 10 unit and educating at 26, 27 years old, year 2, rocket ship. He's closed 3 deals with a 4th deal in contract at 27 years old, and he doesn't have a lot of money. We crush his limiting belief about money. You don't have a money problem. You have a deal problem. Go find the deal. We'll solve your money problem. So now he's coming. Why is he coming? He knows how important it is to hang out with Marco. He's spending 2 days with me, coming to 2 meetups. So if you're in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, I don't care where you are, Pennsylvania, drive 5 hours for these. Stay over, have fun, get a Holiday Inn close by. Come to these events. This one's on Thursday. Other one's on Friday. Okay. Keep going down. Last thing I'm going to share before I talk about that. Today, me, Joe Sullivan, Chris, we did an inspection on 108 units, solid B class, 96% occupied, 275 plus rent raises, long-term hold, generational wealth syndication that's happening. We just did the inspection today. And today, with Mastermind member, I'm putting up his top performer award this week or next week. Jaydeep Belakar, Jay Belakar, I closed a 36 unit. I am the KP on the deal. Jaydeep is a high level performer. He's an MIH. When I put the post up, I'm gonna put the video up of why a mastermind. I did a video with him. He talks all about MIH. That's a huge thing. And in 2022, the last one I'm gonna share for me, I closed a 70, a 72, a 76, a 115, a 96 is closing now. We just funded it. A 36 today, a 28, a 94 is closing, fully funded, 6 million, opportunity news on hold. A 110 with Robert Musso, another mastermind member, is closing. I'm a KP on that. And then today was a 108 inspection. That's 10 deals. I'm on my 10th deal this year. And you might say, how? MIH mastermind. So up until 2019, I was doing deals, 1 deal, 2 deal here and there. When I first started, I started in 2012 out of New York. I had a 4-family in New York with 1 deal in 2012, 26 unit. 2013, 1 deal, 45 unit. I refied and rolled the money. 2015, 2 deals. 2017, 2 deals. 2018, 1. 2019, 1. 2020, 7 deals during COVID because of the mastermind, power of proximity. I have 150 people around me. We're conquering fear in this recession with high gas prices, inflation, everything. We have Chris Jackson in there, Nick Amaluxon, a Jake and Gino coach, all high level people. We are protecting our families in the mastermind. Other mastermind groups, they just get together. They want deal rooms and do deals, and we're protecting our families. We're building a community. So going down, one of the members sent me this. I'm a big Gary Vee guy, Darren Light, and my members see it. And Frank here sees it. Bailey sees it. And they all sent and they all comment. The reason most people struggle is building a community is, and then he goes to the other side. Almost everybody says they want to build a community when they start a mastermind or a coach, but they're not. They're actually trying to build customers. I turned away 50 people this year so far. I'm going to turn away $600,000. I don't need it. I'm retired. I'm building a community. And Darren Light sent me this. He goes, I love you, bro. You truly have built a community. After he came to the Ponte Vedra, we had 70 people on Friday, a steak dinner, 70 people on the 18th hole on a brunch. I packed every 3 days in a room. I got them all in the room, not separate dinners and running around after we did the event, all together, 3 days of proximity. He says, we're building a community. And on my post, hashtag MIH family, hashtag 150 strong. Okay. So there's a big difference, guys. Everybody, I'm going to tell you out there right now, if you're multifamily or STR or storage or whatever, you all should be part of something, a community. Start on your own. And then when you start to succeed a little, or when you want more, you need to be in MIH Mastermind, Jake and Gino. It doesn't matter which one. I'll name a few more. They're all good, but you need to vet them and find the one that fits you. And remember, MIH Mastermind, we're building a community, not customers. And you can ask anybody in my mastermind. And that's it. Let me tell you a little bit about Frank. But Frank, after I talk about you, you need to, I don't know the numbers exactly. I spend a lot of time with you. We talk all the time. I'm going to give the story how we met. Now, Frank Bailey, I got him to join. I was mentoring Bailey on my own, and Bailey goes, hey, I'm going to introduce this guy, Frank. I said, okay. So I took the call, And Frank, usually people like, how much is it? Give me all the info. I told him a little bit about me. He knew about me, what I was doing, what kind of mentor and coach I am, what kind of person I am. He's like, I start to tell him, he's like, I'm in, man. I love masterminds, and I know yours is the one. Literally on a 5-minute call, he joined my mastermind. And once he joined, he was in a great group with Chris Jackson and Fernando. And I don't know, he's closed over 30 to 50, 60 deals since he's joined 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago. He's going to tell you the numbers. And the really cool thing is I get great texts from Frank. I mean, it's humbling because I tell him, thank him for joining, because when I get strong people in, it makes the group stronger. Elite Family Mastermind producing elite family results. So he texts me, man, I owe so much to you. Like, almost, you're right. Almost, no, you don't. You're putting the work in. And one thing that he tells me is there's a lot of limiting beliefs. Like, I can't do this. This is too hard, because you don't have a support system, like to go raise money or to go close to 100 unit. So Frank told me before I joined, I was doing a lot of deals, but all on his own with his own money. He watched me pop $62 million in 18 months of attracting money the way I do it. And he's been getting my tips and secrets on the chat. Every day I put a tip on how I did it with that person and this person, and that $6 million raise, how I pre-funded that 96 unit in before the Zoom call with just a tear sheet in 3 hours. He gets all those tips. He's like, if Marco's doing it, who's a chef, I can do it. Of course he can. So then one thing he told me is, because being in the group, he now has raised millions, attracted money, and he's closed more bigger deals and more deals. So in saying all this, Frank and Bailey, Frank, introduce yourself. Just elaborate on that. Elaborate some deals you've done. You put your bio thing, and even that aspect of like, now you have deals and you have teams behind you and partnerships, and we created teams in the mastermind for you. So guys, please both introduce yourselves and then take it over. Let me stop sharing.
One sec, guys. We're just sharing our screen here for our slides. We're probably gonna, this is like using it for a template. We're probably gonna ramble on and go off on tangents and questions and answers. So this is pretty informal. But a little bit about myself. Yeah, I met Marco 2 years ago. I was flipping houses and using all my money and capital and credit, and I was getting 1-2 houses a year. Once I learned how to actually attract capital, yeah, we're doing, literally, Bailey and I are doing $1 million deals for lunch now, and we did about $7 million in just short-term rentals. That doesn't include any of the other properties that we acquired, and we created a great system with direct to seller, with texting and cold call campaigns, and now it's scaled where we have to divide and conquer, where he's doing all of the automation behind the scenes. I'm doing more of the acquisitions and getting the property stabilized. So that's what we'll kind of talk about today, and how we're at now, and with all the different properties, even the 8-unit motel that we have. We'll talk about what different deals we have in contract, and kind of what we see for the future of the short-term rental game in general. But I'll let Bailey kind of talk about a little bit about.
Just so you know, halfway through I might have to jump off because I got a property call, but I'll be on for most of the time.
Thanks, Marco. Appreciate it.
Hey guys, my name is Bailey. I met Marco and Frank like 2.5 years ago. Like Marco said, took me under my wing in MIH, and then that's when Frank and I connected. That's when I was 19, didn't have any money, no deals. Partnered up with Frank, started doing this off-market lead generation, and we're going to show you kind of the empire that has came from that, and what the operation looks like today. So just to show you guys a couple of the properties that on the AirBNB side only that we have, and some that we're working on here.
Yeah, we're sitting at the Roxana right now, and that's Fox Lake behind us. We kind of want to do a little bit different presentation with the camera in the back, and kind of show you that this is an actual real thing we do. And as much as we love to enjoy the property, but it's always booked, so we figure we got a chance to actually use it.
And if you see on the bottom right picture, this little porch right here, that's where we're sitting. So just to give you guys a behind the scenes. So here are 2 of our bigger ones. Here are a couple more. Most of these are on the chain of lakes in Illinois. This top left one here is in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And then these are 2 of the newer properties. Frank, you want to talk about these?
Yeah, the top left is the Lotus Cottages. It's a 1-acre parcel on Grass Lake. It was basically just a rundown 4 cottages that we did a lot of cosmetic things, put a pavilion in, brick patio, fireplace, and created a little mini escape palace, and immediately it booked up. And we launched it, and no joke, we couldn't keep up. So Bailey will talk more about the people that actually work with us now, helping with messaging, because it is getting overwhelming now with just messaging. And we have full-time 24-hour staff now for our guests. So in case the internet goes out, they need a towel, you name it, we now have that capabilities. On the bottom right is the 8-unit motel building. Again, it's on Grass Lake. It's one of the only motels on the chain of lakes. This I take great pride in. It was a pretty heavy lift. I mean, we literally got rid of probably about 20 tenants in there. They had no leases. They weren't paying rent. If they were, it was $400, a month. Now we're getting like $400 a day in the peak season. That's one of the smaller units. We turned it into a motel with all the amenities, small, mini. Turn off your microphone, Mark. What's wrong with you? So yeah, it's a motel, right? But there's none out here, which makes it super exclusive. If you guys probably heard of Country Thunder, it's a huge country concert right about 20 minutes away. Boom, booking up nonstop. It's getting great reviews on Airbnb and VRBO. So we're real proud of this one. It took a lot of time and effort, and I got a shout out to our partners in that, Chad, Dennis, and Hendra, for putting faith in me with the vision of it. So I can't speak enough about it. I'm real proud of that one.
And then since we have so many properties, I think we essentially have at least a majority, if not a bigger percentage, on the lake. So now that we have the staff, the team, this is another one that Frank and I are managing on the lake. And then here's kind of the names of the properties and some upcoming properties. Frank, you want to talk about the 2 coming up?
Yeah, the 2 that we have in contract, there's another one in Lake Como. It's a smaller lake by Lake Geneva, super exclusive, little mini resort. A lot of golf carts people rent, and they go around and they drive around the lake, and there's a little family friendly restaurants, bars, kid event type things. It's super hard to get a property there because people keep these things for generations. I ended up contracting one last Sunday and a subject to mortgage. And if nobody knows what subject to mortgage is, we essentially take over the mortgage. And this gentleman had a VA loan at 2.25%, which is unheard of. His mortgage payment's like $800 with taxes. And we're gonna short-term rental it for an average. I think the average of the peak season is about $250. So it's not a huge home run, but it's an infinite return deal, which is great.
And one quick thing to add about that, just the area. I was calling the city today to get our permit and stuff finalized, and the guy said, yeah, the permit's not a problem, but if you want a spot on the lake for a dock where you can put your boat, he goes, you have to get on the waiting list for 15 years.
Yeah, it's how
I was like,
exclusive
15
the area is,
years, geez. And then he said, yeah, Lake Geneva, where the gingerbread house is, he goes, that's a 35-year wait. So, and he was like, dude, how do you get a property in Lake Como? It's very hard to do.
Yeah,
So
it's very,
kudos to
very-
Frank on that. The guy was blown away.
Yeah, very difficult. I'll talk about a little bit about creative financing. I'll touch on it. I'm sure a lot of people have questions about it, but 98% of our deals were creatively financed or seller financed or some variation of it. I was just tired of dealing with banks. And what I really got tired of is when COVID happened. I was flipping 5 houses. Actually, I was going to burn the 5 houses in terms of the rentals, and it turned into a disaster where they got rid of a lot of the short-term rental mortgages. So I had to flip them, and I was pissed because they were cash flowing. I'll get on a tangent about that. But anyways, the 94 Boat Slip Marina is absolutely amazing property. It's just mismanaged. So that's what we like: mismanaged properties, distressed properties, problems. We like to look for problem properties and we fix them, right? So the 94 Boat Slip Marina, we're going to do a lot of value add. And if you're a boater like myself, water and electric on dock is huge. It doesn't have it right now. We're going to invest the money and raise the rents that way. We're going to put the same thing we did with the Lotus Cottages, with the pavilion, barbecue area, set up mini little resort for members only, increase the rents. So right now they're at $1,800. With all those amenities, we're looking at a $2,300 bump. The piers are all misconfigured, weird. We're going to make those straight again and just hire a company to come in. Pretty simple. On that property, there's also a 2-bed, 1 bath that we're going to turn into a short-term rental and double the income as opposed to just a 30-day rental. So yeah, that last year alone, like I said, we did about 7 million. We're on pace to do over probably 12. It's half the year. Who knows what we have on mind, what could come through. So everyone asks me, how do you find all these properties? What are you doing? What's your secret sauce? There is no secret sauce. I'm just really passionate about what I do. I don't sleep 24/7. This is what I love to do. I don't need to do this like Marco is. I have enough portfolio that gives me passive income to allow me to do this. And you don't get rich quick in real estate, as everybody knows. It takes time, right? It takes a lot of time, and you cannot give up. When you get knocked down, you got to give up. So to get back to the finding the properties, there's no secret sauce. It's just really being driven and organized and zeroing in at one area at a time. So everyone says, can you duplicate this in Florida? Can you duplicate what you guys are doing in Lake Tahoe? Well, no, because we're creating a system right now that we want to make it perfect before we move on to another geographical area. And the number one thing I look for, and people think, well, can you just pull a bunch of leads and find people that want to sell? No, we're looking for pain, right? We're looking for the 94 boat slip that is mismanaged. We're looking for the tired landlord. We're looking for people with health problems. We're looking for people with divorce. People that are going to jail and literally need cash tomorrow to get their bail money, things like that. I mean, so we're looking for the pain and urgency, and it's a 1 through 10 scale, just like at a hospital. 10 is top pain. 1 is it can wait a little bit. The ones that are the 1, we just drip and we wait. We keep constantly.
Well, Frank, you know what you're doing? You're putting the work in, is what we teach at MIH. So
100%.
It's you're not doing it the easy way. It's like me. I did 12 deals. I raised 62 million, 506B, not C, dude. B. I pre-funded B deals. So now I'm going to do. I should have had a fund. I didn't do a fund. I don't want it because I can attract money. So now I'm gonna go to 506B, where everybody who starts attracting money when they struggle, like, let me just do 506C so I can advertise it. Listen, if you're struggling at 506B, 506C is just going to be the same thing. People are just going to look at your deal and go, oh, wow, look, it's advertised.
Yeah.
You ain't going to raise. So just like what you're saying, what you're doing, they're not going to just skip trace and whatever. You got to learn how to do it. You got to put the work in, put the reps. You have to learn. You just, it doesn't happen. So that's when you tell people, you could show them a system, but like when we build a list, the first list we built somebody in MIH of like 30 deals, a third of 60 properties. I say you're probably, texting all that. This is a practice list. You're going to fail forward. That if you don't do good with this list, we'll build you another one, just like what you guys are doing. You've been doing it for so long. That's why.
Yeah. So the system is, I could say the system over and over. We get our list from PropStream. We use launch control for our texting programs, and it's just a simple direct. Do you want to sell or do you not? And about 95% of them are saying we don't want to sell. It's the 5%. You just got to be patient. You got to be persistent, just like working out. You don't have to put 10 hours a day into it. Just be consistent 5 days a week, every day, putting the work in. Once we get them off, do you want to buy or sell? Yes or no? Yes. Get them on a phone call, right? And then that's me on the right. I'm driving like a crazy man to the house with a contract in hand. And as I'm talking to them and seeing how much their pain is, I'm going to do a napkin underwriting. And actually I use Jake and Gino's underwriting deal analyzer that I got 2 years ago when I met Marco, even before I even knew about synthesis. So I will then skip trace all the information, put it on the napkin underwriting, see if it's a deal or not. And here's my criteria, whether it's a short-term, long-term, or a wholesale deal. There's some deals we bought and literally cleaned and wholesaled out. So then, yeah, and another way I love doing is driving for dollars. I'll literally drive up and down the street looking for distressed properties, looking for sale by owner, looking for the weeds that are growing, looking for the paint that's peeling. I'll literally go up, knock on the door and say, hey, I just bought the Roxana down the street. And that's how we found another property down the street that we're working on, a subject to mortgage as well. So yeah, those are the only really 2 ways I do it. There's 1,000 different ways, 1,000 different gurus that tell you to do these crazy things. It's really that simple. Just be consistent, right? Okay, so negotiating deals with terms. It's just that once I get a hold of them, do they want to buy or sell? Yes. Okay, I only have 2 purchase strategies. I'll give you a cash offer. And of course, I'm an investor. I'm straight up. I tell them, I'm an investor. I need to make money with your house. They know that. They're in pain. So, okay, they're willing to do that, but I need a cash discount. 95% of those people will not take the offer of cash because of the inflated market. Whether they have a shack down the street, they know their house is worth something and they can put it on the open market and still sell it and get multiple offers. So my whole idea is to disqualify the cash offer by saying, we won't be friends anymore. You'll probably hang up on me. Ha ha ha. Gets a joke every time. Number 2, I say I could give you a more favorable offer if I can sell to you on terms. What is terms? Then I go through, it's a payment plan. It's a seller financing payment plan. And it works really well with a lot of the older folks that understand what terms are, because back in the 80s, in early 90s when the interest rates were literally 10% plus, people, the only way they could buy and sell is through terms or land contracts is another way. So it works really well with tired landlords, people with health problems, people that have secondary homes they literally left vacant. Vacant property is another great one, or what I call them zombie properties, where they look like they're zombies living in them. Those are the ways that I look for them. Those are the only two ways that I give them. There's a multiple other people out there that have other ways of strategizing it. I like to keep it plain simple. That's it. That's pretty much my whole strategy right there. So, okay, renovating and stabilizing the property. This isn't rocket science. Again, most of you have done this. Pretty simple. I know builders that do $10 million houses, no joke, and they have an Excel spreadsheet. They don't use some crazy software. You can if you want. I'm not, knocking it if you want to use those the different softwares, but just create a timeline, right? A realistic timeline on how long it's going to take to get the project done. Get the bids from qualified contractors. If you're new to that area or out of state, here we've got a good crew of people, but of course, with anyone that's in the trades, they're always hopping from job to job who's going to pay. So if there's a space in between the two jobs, it's gonna be harder to get your key guys back. So we have a good stream of properties that we're kind of constantly renovating. So luckily this year I've been able to keep a lot of the guys on hand. Managing the project, managing the managers. I'm just stopping by every day. How's it going, guys? We on our timeline, and I'm realistic, and I let the guys have fun, right? I'm not the kind of drill sergeant that's going to yell at people, because that's not going to create a good work environment. We're not going to get top-notch quality work out of them either. So I mean, yeah, I'm always joking around, having fun. Interior design is huge. Anyone that doesn't spend money or budget for interior design is an idiot. I'm sorry. Interior design and furnishings and your photography. Greg, shout out to you. He does all photography, drone, and video. That is huge. Anything with e-commerce, Airbnb, I don't care. Great pictures, great descriptions, interior designing. It's absolutely important. I don't know if Savannah's on the call or not, but she does a lot of our interior design as well. And she just had her wedding here at the Roxanne, which is pretty cool. Stabilizing. Once you get all that fun, hard stuff out of the way, now technically stabilizing it, right? You got to get it 80% occupied. Okay, marketing it properly. Just throwing it up on Airbnb with some pictures and descriptions is one thing. We really go in depth into seeing what the competitors are doing, making spreadsheets and seeing what they're pricing it for, and how we could slowly add more value, right? Like volleyball courts, like basketball courts, right? More guest amenities, more guest experiences. What can make us different than somebody to get a couple extra bucks that increases the bottom dollar? Again, this is not a get rich quick scheme. It takes time, right? A lot of time. We launched Roxanne in the middle of winter. We had a slow start, right? But now we're cranking. It's takes some time to get the snowball effect. We launched Lakeview in the middle of summer. It took a little bit of time, so we gave some introductory great pricing for 4th of July. We didn't make as much money for the 4th, but again, if you guys are not new to this, you get it, right? It takes time. But really researching those different platforms, we use Hospitably as our main hub, right?
Yeah.
Where it actually will get all the messages together, and then it makes it very nice and like a distribution platform. Direct booking website is also huge. With Lakeview, we have lakeview-place.com. That's a direct booking website, and the program we use is called Hospital. Oh no, that's Little Hotelier. That's the 300-pound gorilla with small motels and hotels for getting into Google, to getting into via Expedia, Travelocity, those bigger websites. SEO on page. I have a background of e-commerce. SEO is pretty simple. If you get Yoast, it's a plugin for WordPress. Listen to the directions. Take the extra 2 hours and do your SEO properly. It's going to pay off 10 times full down the road. A lot of people that find us, are the major keyword for this month was Country Thunder. So I created a landing page for Country Thunder, and we're getting tons of people coming from the city, from Chicago, to drive out here for weekend getaways or for the concert. Pay-per-click, I don't spend a ton on it, but definitely Facebook and Google pay-per-click is huge. Spend $5-10 a day. See how your clicks are coming. If they're really, really good, and keep playing around with the different areas. Our hotel is more younger people, right? 21 to 35. The Victorian here we're sitting in is going to be more of your 55 and older crowd, because they love the antique type stuff. So everyone's a little bit different. We're constantly pulling levers and trying things. What's going to work? What's not going to work? 2, 3, 4 night minimums, different pricing, summer, winter, fall, different types of holidays, right? Concert events. We're constantly thinking every day. I get in the middle of the night thinking of, okay, let's change the pricing during the week, during this time. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? Not just because the market is always changing, right? Now that gas is really high, people are going to be driving less. They're not going to be taking airplanes as much. They're going to want it just like COVID, vacation closer to home. Our average people are 60-mile radius. They're coming for a weekend getaway. I only see short-term rentals. It's getting hotter in the next year, 2 years. As gas keeps going up and we keep the current administration, I think we're going to be pretty safe to say it's going to be pretty good for the next couple of years. And then lastly, the guest experience is always our number one priority. We just hired on a 24-hour maintenance guy to just be there, right? 24 hours, 7 days a week, especially during this weekend with the 4th of July. We want to make sure that if the internet goes out, if the light fuse goes out, you name it, somebody's there to take care of it. That's pretty much all I got. I'll let Bailey take over with the next one, which is more of the automation portion of it.
Yeah. So just get a little bit more into the nitty gritty of after Frank's like, Bailey, just got another one under contract. It's like, all right, now it's time to get to work to get this property up and running. So first things first, I guess when we first started, Frank and I, with our first Airbnb, these are things that all developed, even with the direct to seller stuff, everything's always evolving. And this is definitely no different. So now whenever we get a property, we know exactly what we need to do to get that property up and running as fast as possible once the renovations are done. So we're talking, what supplies do we need for the property? There's when people are here, especially 20 people, we're at the Roxana that can sleep 25. We need to make sure that we have all the towels, all the sheets, and then all like the little things, the wine glasses, the corkscrews, all these little things. So that's pretty much the first step in the process is once it's furnished or once it's rehabbed is, okay, let's furnish and supply this place properly from the start. The second thing is getting organized with these properties. So when you have one property, it's super easy to remember the Wi-Fi password, if you have a grill there or not, how many bedrooms you have. Then when you have, now what we have is more than a dozen places, it's like, shoot, you got to actually like put these things written down. So we have an organization structure, essentially nothing fancy, Google Sheets, but has everything we need. Instead of memorizing all these things, is we need something to keep all this stuff organized. So that's what we do for now for each property, is have organization. Another thing is always having backups. So we have supply closets at each property that always just has backups of everything. We're doing same day turns at these huge properties, and we don't want to just block off a day for our cleaners. Because that's at a property like this, that could be $2,000 lost. So it's like, how do we turn the units as fast as possible? And it's all about having extra supplies on hand. So toilet paper, paper towels, sheets, comforters, pillows.
Tell them how you automatically with Amazon, it automatically, Amazon has like, you could do it once a month, every other month, or every week, or automatically just get shipped. The cleaners see a box every time they come here, and boom, it's there.
Yeah, so toilet paper for 25 people for a week, that can go super fast. And then building the team. So this is something that evolved crazy. You're looking at the original team right here, as far as on the ground management style. We've since added, like Frank said, people who are like full on 24/7, essentially doing this. So when we were first starting out, it was just Frank and I running ragged. I remember our first day, it was like, oh, I got to run to the property. And that helps now that we have everything set up and all the supplies right the first time. But our main team, we call it the dream team. First of all, is a cleaning crew. We have an awesome cleaning crew, and she has multiple cleaners as well. And she's focused on just keeping up with our properties. We probably support most of her business, I would say, because we have so many properties, so many turns. In a given week now, we have usually 12 to 15 turns. I get a report every morning on the management side that says how many check-ins and check-outs we have. I think on Sunday we had 9 check-outs on Sunday. I know coming up we have even more. So the cleaning team is essential. Handyman, you're looking at that. Was the handyman, and then it's really a full-time position now that we actually have somebody in doing all the handyman stuff, anywhere from loose doorknobs to really keeping care of the outside of the properties and like maintenance, more than just what the cleaners do on the inside. This is like we have big properties to actually take care of, and it takes time. So this is essential to the operation. And then this pretty much doubles as either the handyman or the runner. We have it kind of our handyman, but basically someone to do all the little odd tasks, filling propane tanks. If a guest needs something, we need someone to run over there. And that in itself could be a full-time job. We pretty much have that doubled with our handyman to take care of that. And then lastly, the automation. We automate as much as possible with our guests and with our cleaners. One common mistake I see when people are just getting started is they say, oh, Bailey, I just have one property. I can just do this manually. No, don't do that. Start automating from the start. I don't care if it's 1 property, 2 properties, or 10 properties. These softwares make us money every single month and save us a lot of time. So what we use, like Frank said, is a platform called Hospitable. There's tons of different platforms out there. Hospitable is the most simple, easy to use platform and does everything and more that we need. So this is like automated messages to guests, automated messages to our cleaners, syncs our calendars from AirBNB and Vrbo and all of our sites. So our software alone saves us a lot of time and makes us a lot of money. So that's pretty much the overview of kind of the operation. I'm sure there's some questions brewing in the crowd. So
sure.
There we go. We'll open it up to Q&A now. If you guys have questions, we are here to answer them. Feel free to unmute yourself and throw in a question, or if you want to throw it in the chat, that works as well.
Oh, slow down. You guys are going too quick. Slow down.
Sorry, I have a quick question. Who do you use to skip trace?
So within Launch Control, there's their own skip tracing platform. You can negotiate with them. We get like 11 cents per skip trace. Play around with different types that you're pulling your lists on PropStream, like prior landlords, vacant properties, commercial properties, mixed use properties, properties that are 100 days or older on the MLS. Why are they on the MLS for 100 days? They're overpriced, right? I love overpriced properties. Who care? I do care about what the purchase price is, but not as much as the cash flow. So of course, if we are going to refinance the property, we have to be, aware that we're going to be purchasing a price, a little bit higher than normal. But if we're going to cash flow like a beast, we could push that off. You got to be kind of careful with it. But to answer your question, Launch Control, it does everything for you. It's nice. It's you could link it in with Podio, which is our CRM as well. And what do we use to link them? It's called Beast Mode. It links them. It's like an API that links it all together. But yeah,
Zapier maybe. I use Zapier.
Yeah, it's actually called Globiflow. It's like Podio's version of Zapier specifically for Podio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I use Monday CRM and I use Launch Control as well. I just use a third-party skip tracing service, and in many cases, I found it to be inaccurate.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking for more accuracy.
Yeah, they're all gonna be pulling a lot of their data from the same major source. So a lot of it was because of COVID. A lot of the court systems were closed, and they didn't get everything. So I mean, yeah, you're gonna get inaccurate data. We used everything from what's the one, batch leads I've used.
Batch leads, I use that very well. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of it's consistency. I'll repull lists. I'll try and change the phone numbers with Launch Control and redo the same list. And sure enough, change the name on it. Misspell words a lot, because that's the biggest thing that people think is, oh, I'm texting a lot of people. Now with the filtering processes of the cell phone providers, there are blocking a lot of the stuff like purchase, house, mortgage, these certain keywords. So misspell a lot of the stuff on purpose. Or the best, actually, I got a little trick. Just send a text. Hey, what's up? Did you get my postcard in the mail? You'll get 100% response rate, but you're gonna have to filter all those people out that are like, oh no, didn't get it, not interested. You're gonna get a higher, disqualification, but you'll get through that filtering process.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Sorry to hijack the conversation, guys, but I use Launch Control and I text as well. I go direct to seller. But one question, what is your initial message? I know it has to be short, less than 150 characters. You got to use some spinners. You got to use all these special, and you cannot use quote unquote offensive words like offer, property, things like that. I know you can substitute words and letters. So can you share your initial outbound message?
Yeah, just do you want, hi, my name is so-and-so. I'm local to the area. I put that in there because it's like, think about how you personally think when you get a spam call, right? You're pissed off initially. You want to cut that, right? So I do jokes. I misspell words. I say, I just be very, very simple, right? Don't overdo it, and think of how you would react when you get the text, right? Be friendly. 99% of people are going to say no to you, but the 1% can change your life. You could get a house on, like we do. We got one of the first sub-2 deals I ever done ever. He was a Navy SEAL being relocated down to Texas. He literally deeded the property over to me with nothing out of pocket except the title search and attorney fee. And it's cash flowing us $800 a month. And we didn't put one dime into it. So one deal like that can change your life, and it pays my car payment, right? So you just got to be persistent. Every single day you're going to be doing it. But yeah,
guys, easier said than done. Frank, I know Frank well, and he's a great salesman, and he's also great offer opportunity, attract money. So he did it all jobs. He was a car salesman when he was younger. He's done it all. So, but he also, in the mastermind, we have a month where we do negotiation skills, where we study Chris Voss, mirroring and labeling, as Tony Robbins teaches. And he learns contract in hand. He goes there. He knows how to negotiate. Whoever talks price first loses. We know it's not hard. It's not easy. It's not hard. You got to put the reps in and learn. What else do we learn? Negotiation skills, and we teach direct to seller in the mastermind. We're also using Renovating and CoStar. So when you join the mastermind, I don't tell everybody this, but I can mention it now. Chad Gorman's in my mastermind. Chad is in month number 4. Say he is and goes, Marco, I want to build a list. Okay, good. We have CoStar. We pay $12,000. It's not even the expensive one. Expensive one's $3,000-$4,000 a month. We pay $1,000 a month for CoStar, and I build him a list. He's not paying the $12,000. I did. Okay, he's getting a free list. So the CoStar costs more than joining my mastermind. So he basically got the mastermind for free, because you can't pay 1 month. You got to pay $12,000 for CoStar for the whole year. You understand? So Chad, right now, when he wants a list, Marco, I want a list. Okay, I'll build you one this month. Work on it. You got to wait 4 months for a second list. But by that time, because I have to build them we build them for whoever wants them. So that's it. So that's how you practice direct to seller. But in the meantime, you got to learn negotiation skills. You got to learn sales. You got to learn what we have scripted text, like Frank just said. See how he says it's not just the text matters. And even on my posts on social media, when I post, everything matters. We teach how to post on social media, where to put stuff. I'll give you an example. On the top, I put the Zoom link. People make mistakes. In my group, somebody posted, we live in an iPhone, iPad world. Attention spans like fucking 10 seconds right now, everybody has, right? So people put a post up, they put all this good info. The Zoom link is like way down on the post where it says see more, you can't see it. People, it's like I teach sales. They see the post, see the picture, give it a like. They might not click and register, come to your Zoom because the Zoom link's on the bottom. I teach to start with the Zoom link on the top. So your call to action, that's what we call it. Call to action is to get them to click the Zoom link and attend the meeting. That's the whole reason for the post. So things like that is in talking to sales, in scripting the text. We go over all that. And Frank's been doing it for a long time. So for the beginners out there, if you're serious about short-term rentals or multifamily, and let me see, we have any beginners out there? Anybody willing to raise their hand? There we go, right there. I give you credit for raising your hand. Everybody's afraid to. And no questions are stupid, man. I know you want to ask questions. That's why, Frank, by the way, that's why you don't get questions. I don't want to talk, but people are, look, I see all the hands going up. Good. I'm going to give a little beginner advice right now. I don't want to talk when we do presentations. I'd rather answer questions. I know how it is. The beginners out there, you guys have a lot of questions right now. You're a little overwhelmed what you heard tonight. You hear prop stream, this and that, and you're afraid to ask them. It's okay. Watch the recording. We're going to send out the recording. For the beginners, whether it's STR, whether it's whatever, you could go out and buy a short-term rental that's stabilized. You pay a lot for it, but it'll cash flow. It's good. That's fine. What Frank's doing is unique because he's very experienced and he put the years in. But the beginners out there, you can learn how to do this. But what did Frank do? He did it in beginning his ways, fix and flips. You got to join like a mastermind. My recommendation, Jake and Gino. Look into jakeandgino.com for multifamily. Okay. Then if you want, if you, in our group, we have a short-term rental, we have a crypto chat and a crypto page. We have a short-term rental chat and page. And we're not, like I say, our mastermind is not just multifamily. First, it's protecting our families, but then it's short-term rental, it's everything. So for the beginners out there, go on the internet for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, get all the free podcasts, the free information. Rod Cleef gives it out. My brother gives it out. I give it out. I'm doing 12 free educations. If you're really serious and you get in the game and you get one to get your feet wet, you know what I'm saying? But you want to grow, vet people, join something special. Okay. Frank is in a group of 150 people. I'm looking at Ian. Ian's in my group. Travis right there is in my group. Travis is in Jake and Gino and MIH. There's a lot of, most people in Jake and Gino are in MIH because you want to keep growing. I invest now. I used to invest when I was 30, about 1,000 a year in coaching. I didn't believe in it. My brother used to do 10,000 a year for me and him. And I'm like, do you want money for the restaurant? He's like, no. So now I do 30 to 50,000 a year in coaching. I have a 10-figure mentor. He's actually about $100,000. He doesn't charge me that because he's my friend. He's a 10-figure guy. So a 6-figure person gets mentored by a 7-figure person to get to 7 figures. A 7-figure person gets mentored by an 8-figure person to get to 8 figures. An 8-figure person gets mentored by a 9-figure person. That's how it works, guys. I'm getting mentored by a 10-figure person. Okay. So I'm going to Tony Robbins again. When he does in person, it's $12,000. So as you start to succeed, start small. Join something that you can afford that's worth your investment. And as you succeed, you want more coaching. I teach my mastermind. I've been doing this. I have over 3,000 units, 300 million holdings. I'm a student for life, man. I'm on tonight. I don't have to be on tonight. I'm retired. I love this stuff. So just be careful. Look into groups and vet them. Let's see if there's questions out there. I'd love to hear more about the creative finance instructor.
So kind of jump in, Marco, you're right. Why reinvent the wheel, right? Get in where you fit in. This isn't rocket science, right? Bring the deal or bring the money. If you can't do those, get off the call. You got to be really good at it. If you're not, provide value, right? If you have time, learn something, get a whole year of education under your belt and learn how to raise capital, learn how to find deals. This isn't rocket science. This isn't no secret sauce to it. Be consistent.
I'm looking at Michael Sanchez. He's in Jake and Gino. They're doing awesome. I think if I remember, I take care of 400 Jake and Gino members. I'm like part-time with my brother and 150 Jake MIH members. I mentor basically like about 500 people. So the Sanchez is over there. I remember I had a great call with them. They bought a warehouse, right? And you gutted it out and you're renovating it or no? You're redoing
an
it?
office space. Yeah, an office space. We're redoing it. We're halfway done.
Kicking ass. And where is that?
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah. And how many units are you going to get out of it?
7 units, 7 high-end corporate rental.
Not being in Jake and Gino and not having that support and whatever?
Oh no, man, the underwriting and all the support's amazing. It's
So
amazing.
what was the support? Bill Ham checking your underwriting. He's your insurance policy, making sure you don't get into a bad deal, correct? He's a master underwriter.
Correct. The whole community, the teachers, the mentors, but also the other students is huge. The Facebook page is huge. The community, we could ask anything we want and there's immediate answer.
And then in like 6 months when I call you, I know you're joining MIH. That's what I did to Nick Amaluxin. He's a deal expert coach for my brother. He's partners with Mark Hanteman, the writer for The Family Guy. Nick Amaluxin's a master coach for Jake and Gino. I don't need to pitch people. I call him up. I said, Nick, I need you in my group. You're going to add value to me and I'm going to add value to you. And he joined. I got a master coach to join the mastermind. But yeah, I want you guys to close a lot of deals. And then one day when you want more, you want an action taking mastermind, that's when I reach out to you and say, listen, Frank's in here, talk to Yosef, talk to Head. You know everybody in my group. But when the time is right, I want you to close that and keep growing. And it's when you need more, when you want more.
And I want to do one of your classes, Marco.
I'm sorry?
I want to do one of your classes on adaptive reuse on what we're doing. We're well versed in the area, and I think
we got come to the Jay Bellacar on the heavy lift. You're gonna love it. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna check that one out for sure.
One day we'll get you to do a free education also, man. I want you to do your deal review, do the deal review of the heavy lift. Yep, go ahead, man. I see you, Nolan.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
So I had a question. It's such a newbie question, but I hear Frank say, "Bring the money or bring the deals." Frank, could you elaborate a little bit more on that and what you mean by that?
So everyone's got you don't have infinite money, right? So you can only invest so much into it until you refi and get your money back, right? What do you do within that time frame of the 1, 2, 3, 4 years in between deals? become an acquisitions guy like me, find the deal. So I ran out of my money years ago. I'm slowly getting it back through refis over the years. As we all know, you want to refinance to get your initial capital back, put into other deals. So everyone runs out of money. So then what do? You just kind of sit around and you're on these calls and you're mingling. No, you gotta find more deals or become really good at attracting money, right? So by attracting money, it's kind of like the horse before the cart, or the cart before the horse. You got to have deals, right? To show people that you're credible, you're doing deals, then the money will start coming in. It takes time. This is not a get rich quick scheme. Everyone knows that. So you got to start off small, house hacking, flipping houses, burning some houses, fall down, lose some money, hopefully not enough like in Monopoly where it'll kill you. But I mean, in 2008, Marco could attest, I almost lost everything. I was like sick to my stomach, and I had a bunch of properties I had to get rid of, nothing like I do now, but I will drain my savings account, trying to keep my employees on, and it just simply, you couldn't do it. If I were to do it all over again, I'm glad I learned from that experience, right? So same thing with what we're doing here is we want to continue to educate, but a really bottom dollar is you got to get good at acquiring properties. If you could do like me, acquire properties and raise capital, you're going to be a powerhouse, and you're going to have your own webinar, right? Like we're doing today. People want to learn. I'm getting a lot of questions about creative financing. So if you don't mind, I'll answer those. And you got any other thing else you want to add? Or?
One last thing I want to say, see what a mentor does, Noah, and I made you guys feel relaxed. You're a beginner. And what I do, I got a question out of you. I'm dead serious. You guys are intimidated. I know. I've been doing this 25, 30 years. You guys are
no such thing as a dumb question, right?
No, and here's another thing. Nolan, what are you interested in? Short-term rental space or multifamily or storage? What are you interested in? Short-term rental?
Long-term rentals, I guess more specifically, the process of creative financing, wherever there's an opportunity that I can utilize.
Read Bill Ham's book, Creative Financing. What's it called again? Frank? Bill Ham's book?
It's pretty good. It's
Creative Cash.
Financing.
Creative Cash.
Yeah.
Write this down. Look up Bill Ham, Creative Cash. He's a master coach for my brother Jake and Gino. The whole book's and everything. The book's like I could get it for free from my brother, just to say, but I think it's like $10, whatever it is. If buy it, if not, I'll reach off the online and give it to you for free. Okay. But for example, people out here, I teach the LPGP mindset. For somebody like Nolan, here's some advice I would give. Nolan, you want to get into STRs, right? You don't need to be a general partner on your own first. Why not take, if you have 150,000 in the bank, why not take 50,000 and be an LP first, a limited partner with Frank, who's a master and what he's masters in the space, like say Lupe is over here. Invest with him. You get a monthly newsletter, a quarterly webinar, and you see how he does things. And you know what? You're committing yourself to a team. You're committing something to him. So when you have a question one day, Frank will pick up the phone. Yeah, dude, I'll help you. Invest it with me. So people are afraid, like, I don't want to be a limited partner. I want to be a general partner. There's nothing wrong, I tell them, with being a limited partner first to be a general partner later. Okay. And I own 2 mobile home parks, a 25 and a 50 unit. I'm a multifamily master. I don't know much about mobile home parks, but I teach profit diversification. I invested with Abraham Anderson, 27-year-old kid who's got like 2,000 plus units, closed 12 deals in one. He's a master. He's written up in magazines. That's what we teach in the mastermind. So when you start, it's nothing wrong. Say, reach out to Frank and get your people on here. If you haven't met Frank, reach out to him, get that relationship, because when he has something good, you might want to jump in. And what does that do also in the mastermind I teach? Creates momentum. You're looking for that GP deal for 2 years. You don't find it, you have no momentum. You get into LP deal. I did with Francesca, create some momentum with brokers, whatever. You're doing something. Progress is happiness, not money. Tony Robbins teaches progress is happiness.
Yeah, the money.
Go ahead. Go ahead about the creative financing.
Yeah, the money will absolutely come. Get into a deal. Yeah, Lupe can attest to this. Get into a deal. Next thing you know, she's in like a handful of deals with me and never really raised money. Now she's raising capital for infinite
momentum,
infinite return.
Right, Lupe? What I teach you, Lupe? Momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me get these hands that are raised. John, you got a question?
John Quinones.
No, I was just raising my hand that I was new. Sorry, I never took it down.
Sorry. It was I asked if people were beginners.
Carlos here.
Yeah. Carlos, go for
I
it.
just want to add to what Marco and everyone are saying about doing it an LP. I'm an LP with Sharpline, and like he said, I get the newsletters. Yeah. and I get to watch how the money actually flows month to month, and they do heavy lifts. So it's a great learning experience. So I second what Marco said, starting, if you have some cash as an LP, yeah, it's a fantastic way to go. Thanks, Marco.
No problem. Nolan, for example, I have a 108 unit right now. You can't invest in it because I didn't meet you. I have to, the proper way. I'm raising for that now. So anybody on here that I don't know, you could get and say, hey, I want to invest your. No, I have to get to know you. It's got to be 2, 3, 4 touches. But that's why I said my number tonight. If you don't know me, reach out to me, because like Carlos, now that I talk to you right now, Nolan, we had a conversation. I'm going to text you when I get off. That's 2 touches. I'll send you an email. It's 3 touches with my calendar link. We get on a call. It's 4 touches. Then after the 108, I may have a deal. You could get into that deal. I teach the proper ethics syndication, all that. And that's why I said that tonight, guys. And the thing, I put my cell phone number up there. So I want all new people to reach out and they're be like, oh, wow, I heard you have 108. Can't let you invest in that one. We haven't met. But now we met. So my next deal after that, we have a relationship, and I'll send you everything. So Nolan, that's my advice. Get in as an LP with Nick Amelux and Jake and Gino. Always, he's a master. Like Colin Schwartz, a Jorge Abreu, who's awesome. Somebody that's reputable, has good ethics, really good, and learn like Carlos and learn. Now Carlos committed to me. He's in Jake and Gino, and if he calls me, he texts me. I answer his questions. I have 3,000 units. I'm retired, and he's not paying me for that. But he's committed to me. And I'm going to be committed to him. So Carlos, appreciate you, buddy.
So I'll
Marco, appreciate it.
I'll answer some questions about creative financing. I got a few in the chat here. So creative financing, I really make it simple when I'm making my pitch to the seller. I want to buy your house cash, which of course commands a cash discount. You'll probably not be my friend, hang up on me or kick me out the door. Ha ha ha. Or I could give you an offer on terms. What's terms? Everyone asks that unless they're older. They know what terms are. They say, well, I tell them it's seller financing. Basically, we create a payment plan. Now, there's really only 2 ways, and there's multiple ways, but the 2 main ways you could create a deal is subject to mortgage, if there's an actual mortgage on it. We take the property over, they deed the house, we put it into a land trust. It shows if there ever is a title search that it's for asset protection or for estate planning. And then we essentially literally just go right onto their website of the mortgage company, pay the mortgage, and then we make the spread between that, the remodel, and what we're renting the property for. 2, if there is no mortgage, then we do an articles for agreement of deed. It's basically just an agreement, terms, payments. That's it. We want that deed sooner or later. I always go in with 0% interest for no balloon payment. Right? I ask for the moon, and you'd be surprised how many times you get it. You just got to get your confidence level up and ask. If you get a realtor involved, sorry for the realtors out there, they don't get it. If they do get it, it'll be 20% down, 3 or 4 year balloon, and then you're like, well, what the hell? The whole idea is no money out of pocket. Get your cash on cash up, right? So the better you become at this, the more confidence you get at it, the more deals you get at it, then it will. Nobody knew in a million years you get a house with nothing out of pocket. Well, you can with subject to mortgage. It's absolutely possible. Pace Moby is a huge advocate on YouTube about it. I started doing this even before I knew what a sub 2 was. One of my attorneys that I still work with today, Vince, he is one of my mentors, helps me structure deals, every one of them. So first, I want to see if they want to buy or sell, get them off the text, get them on a call. 2, gauge their pain level, 1 through 10. Are they really super in pain where they're going to, they're in foreclosure, or 1, they're not really needing it. It's a second home. It's been vacant for a couple of years. Then I'll basically say, okay, we got a deal. How can we cash flow on this? Is it a long-term, short-term, or a fix and flip or a wholesale? I'll run it through the Napkin Underwriting. Do we got a deal? I want something that's over a 10% cash on cash. I prefer things that are in the 15 to 20. The marinas are like 50. And then once we refi, it'll be infinite. So those infinite, we got about a handful of infinite return deals. It's all about the refi, right? There is some deals we are buying and holding for as long as the place is going to be a cash cow. It's got to be 15% or more. So we want the investors to be like, hey, why would I want to refinance? Why do I need that money? Half will want, they want that money back. Half will be like, well, I've got 50 to 100,000 that I could put into this, and I'm going to get a 15% return. But the stock market's doing right now, no one's going to be sneezing at a 15% return. They're very hard to find. So then once I get that in my head, I go to their house with a contract in hand. I used to own a kitchen and bath company for a long time. I taught my 35 salespeople how to one call close. Get in there, ask for the sale, get your confidence level up. You know they want to sell. They need you. You are there to solve their problem. Grant Cardone says that the best salesman in the world solve their problem. I'm going to bring a solution to this, right? My one sub two person was being relocated. He was in the Navy, being relocated to Texas. He was upside down in his house, negative equity, didn't have the money for a realtor, property taxes that was going to go come forward, attorney. It was going to be about $18,000 upside down with negative equity. I says, listen, deed the house over to sub two. I'll take it over. I'll give you a couple grand for helping for moving expenses. Cash flow's $800 a month now.
And that interest rate's 2.75.
Yeah,
right.
That's ridiculous.
So another thing we teach in the mastermind, when he's saying like sales and doing all this and talking to sellers, and if you're you're in sales, we teach how to get into peak mental state. Tony Robbins teaches that. If you guys want to Google that, Google peak mental state, Tony Robbins. And I teach how to do that. I spent time with Tony Robbins one-on-one a little bit because my friend works with him. He taught me how to get into peak mental state. And when I come on this call, I was in peak mental state, and I share wins to get you guys into peak mental state. So you retain more, you're more awake. And there's ways of doing. How do? I do my intro, I share some wins, and then I do the Frank intro, and that's what we do. That's it. And Frank knows what I'm talking about, because when he does his sales call, if you're cold calling, you got to be in a good peak mental state, or else you're not going to do these calls good if you get somebody on the phone. And anything in sales, I'm looking at Nick. Nick knows what I'm talking about. Nick Mogg, he's in the mastermind. And I know he knows what I'm talking about. He gets into peak mental state when he needs to succeed. Yeah.
So to kind of recap, subject to mortgage, articles for agreement of deed. If there is, they don't want to do sub two. If the property is not paid off, the third would be a wrap, it's called. So a wraparound mortgage, a second lien. There is a mortgage. As long as deed doesn't transfer over to another owner, it's essentially a lease to own. But I do not do a lease option. I don't like those. Our goal is to get that deed sooner or later, whether we refinance or pay it off. So I always do agreement for deed. Everyone's going to have their own opinion on it. That's just how I work. I like to do it like that. So a wrap is like if there is a mortgage on it, but there's equity and I don't want to give them cash, then we do, basically it's a second mortgage basically. So I do the napkin underwriting, make sure it adheres my criteria, go to the house, try and contract them. Chances are, if I'm not going to go to the house unless I feel that, just from experience, that they're ready, they're a green light. So Bailey and I use red, yellow, and green. Red light is not interested, click. Yellow light is I'm interested, but not at the moment. Follow back up with me in a couple of weeks or months or years. Hang up, put them in the CRM, tick them, and a couple of weeks get back. Green light is I'm absolutely want you to buy my house. I have a moving truck in the driveway. When can you come over? As soon as they come over, I click, I'm hanging up the phone, I'm jumping in my car and I'm over there. You have to be flexible. You have to be on top of it. This is what I do. So this is what I do full time. If you can't do that, then get in a deal with somebody like myself or with Marco or somebody that already has a team. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. If you can't bring the deal, you can't bring the money, get into a deal, learn the process, then go branch out on your own. But you got to always be on, right? Marco doesn't have an option.
Frank, what we teach in the mastermind again in this space this year is in multifamily, in STR. Okay, you guys are getting into the most competitive spaces, but they're the best spaces. What do we teach? Be obsessed to be average. Grant Cardone. Look at my wall behind me. If you go through my whole office, my wife walks in my office, looks around, shakes her head, and calls me a fucking idiot. Because everything, my whole office is covered with quotes and everything. Because why? I'm obsessed. That's why I win. Gary Vee puts it simply. When you stop giving a fuck about what people think about you, that's when you win. We're all concerned on this. We're your social media. Oh, what my friends think, whatever. I did until 2019. I sold that restaurant. December 4th, 2019, I moved from New York to Florida. That's the day I stopped caring what people thought. And as Gary Vee says, that's the day I started winning. Okay, I used to, because I had the restaurant, I was nervous. Like John has a restaurant. He's got to be careful on social media. You don't want to offend customers that are friends with you. You can't talk politics. I never talk politics really, but I'm saying, but that's what we teach in the mastermind is being obsessed to be average, all in this space. You got to be nuts. Nick is fucking nuts. Nick Mogg. He's crazy. That's why he's going to win. He went on LinkedIn, did some advertising, hit up some people, and all of a sudden he had a deal for Natasha or something, a lead. Like when he told me what he did, I didn't do that. He outworked me on that. You know, it was pretty cool what he did. And in a mastermind, then I hear that idea, and we all learn how he did that. Like, how did you do that? You know, it's another version of direct to seller. So a big tip is what and how do you go all in? How do you become obsessed? Like the Sanchez's, they're in Jake and Gino. Surround yourself with people that are obsessed, that push you. You really. I deem the mastermind 2020. I name every year. 2020 was conquering fear of COVID. 2021 was proper diversification all year long. How I got into, because people say all diversified. No, properly. And people say it's not the good thing. No, you need to be diversified. Kiyosaki says 2022's evolution. It was number 3 of 7 Forces of Business Mastery from Tony Robbins. The multifamily space in that series evolving. I'm teaching evolution. 2023 is all fucking in. All in. All year. I'm going to keep putting on the chat and getting into their mindsets. They got to hear it 100 times. Okay? That's how you guys win. Education, networking, and being all in. Those are the 3. Just there's no secrets, and working your ass off. Number 1, student for life. Number 2, you guys are here tonight. You're winning. No, you guys are here. Take a screenshot names. We teach how to network, how to build networking plans. Yosef is in 12 deals with me. From Jake and Gino, he's in MIH. He had 0 deals 2 years ago. He's a lawyer from New York. He never found a deal. He's a lawyer. He adds value as a lawyer, and he networks. He's in 12 deals. He's a master at networking. He's networked with over 200, 300 people in 1 year. So education, guys, you can write this down. Education first. Absolute certainty gives you the confidence to win. Number 2 is networking. And then number 3 is learning how your superpower, how to add value to somebody. Okay. So that's all it takes. And then really surrounding yourself with people who are going to push you, who are going to keep you accountable, who want you to win also. And that's why you join the right groups. Let's see. Anything else, Frank? Any other questions?
Frank, I got a question for you. It's Nick Mogg. Hey, Frank. Hey, Bailey. Good to see you guys. Thank you for your time. So I just acquired my first short-term rental down in Fort Lauderdale. It's a 5-bed, 4-bath, brand new construction. On market, was not direct to seller. Eventually, my goal is to start doing direct to seller. But in the meantime, I've called 6 weeks or so to get the property up and running, putting a pool in it. What is your best piece of advice to increase top line gross revenue for a larger property?
Yeah, for larger properties, one of the big things is amenities. So that's what we got big on this year. We had a volleyball court. We turned a crappy tennis court into a basketball court. Fire, like, I mean, Florida might be a little bit different because we're a little bit colder up here, but we have fire pits outside. But I would say definitely the outdoor area. Like, people are going to book your place because of the pictures. There's a lot of houses now that just like look nice and that are new construction. So you have to stand out even more. So
Bailey, what did you do on our Johnsburg? We have the boat rentals too, right?
yeah, oh yeah, and then the boat rentals as well.
Yeah,
So
being different from than the competition, right? Our big draw is the lakes. Yours would be a pool. Restaurants. You have award-winning restaurants that are walking distance from you. Do you have scooter rental? Do you have, what are the cool things around there? Is there museums? Is there concert venues? Is there, basketball arenas? Mention all that in there. We are 2 blocks from Soldiers Field. We are 5 blocks from this. We have boat rentals on site. Our pool is amazing. You got to jump in it and be very descriptive. If you're not, like, I'm not really good at it, but I have a lot of good friends that are copywriters. Get them to do your copyright and tell a story, right? Not just like 5-bed, 3-bath, blah, blah. We like different rooms that are also different themes too. Like the kids' rooms are different. The adult rooms are different. Those are the best ways for big, and they got to think of type of people that could afford those bigger properties are going to be different than your college kids going to a hotel, right? They're going to want the 4K TVs. They're going to want to have board games now. So they're going to want to have those amenities. So yeah, I mean, a comfy bed, spend the extra money for the couple, spend $1,000 for the really nice bed for the 2 masters. Yeah, the kids' rooms thing is definitely a plus. I like that a lot. S'mores kits for the kids. If you have a fire pit, just something simple, right? Go with the upgraded soap in the master bedrooms, things like that, and be really descriptive.
then yeah, for your actual listing itself, right now, Airbnb isn't showing the titles. So all you have to show right now, and I think I heard they're bringing the titles back, but the listing titles right now, like that first picture has to draw people in. So
Photography.
like,
Spend the money in photography,
Yeah.
guys. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the outdoor area too. I mean, every brand new kitchen looks kind of the same, right? For like this new construction, like I'm imagining, and it's super nice, right? But if you can do something that's gonna be different than the other people, especially again with just having the pictures now, make it so that someone who's never seen the property says, "Holy crap, I want to look, I want to see this. I want to see if the backyard is cool, if this is that cool, what else is the property about?" And I guess with a new property, like yeah, a new kitchen, a nice kitchen's expected, but do things that are not necessarily expected, but will be like the wow factor.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, we're putting like murals across like some of the walls just to really accentuate it, make it a little 2.0 Lux, if you will. I know ADRs in the Midwest and like down south in Florida are just entirely different. And so I was just thinking, I know ADR is going to be anywhere from 850 to 1100 depending on peak season. And so that being said, I was thinking of bringing in like chefs to curate experiences, or just having a point person locally that could just be a concierge to some of these, short-term renters. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, well, with that, there's also, again, you probably have a higher end clientele. We're getting more money because our properties are nice and there's amenities, but also they're freaking huge. So there's so many people. There's like 3-4 families splitting it.
Right.
So for you though, if you're gonna be like super luxury, that's how like it's kind of drawing it in, and you want like the chefs and the cool experiences. There are like, we use Hostfully guidebooks.
Yeah.
There's other one called like Touch Stay, I think it's called. You just look up guidebooks, but you can do add-on services, and you can do it as something simple as firewood, or you can do as crazy as bringing in chefs, and you can get as crazy as you want with it.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, the one thing I kind of learned is like, if it doesn't wow me, I want to wow the guests. So like we have a little property, the Lotus Cottages, like it was a little dump, and I really wanted it to be like, as soon as you drive in there, you're like, wow. Went to Florida, the Marco's place, and it's real pastel colors. I was literally walking around his neighborhood going, wow, wow, wow. And I was like, how can we create that experience with it? Big pavilion, big fire, think big, right? I mean, as long as it's cost effective, but what's the most ineffective ways to do that? Get a pavilion, get a hot tub. Get a hot tub for 4,000, a good one on Wayfair. We colored every building's a different color. So we different pastel colors, things like that. If it doesn't wow you, you want your guests to be wowed. Are there questions about creative financing? I saw there was a few in here. Let me see here.
I got one up here. Nolan?
Yeah, I guess in with creative financing, where would be a good place to get the contract material or the subject to agreement paperwork? Is that best to just go through an attorney that knows that space?
Join MIH Mastermind and Frank LaMark will give it to you. No, I'm kidding. I said join my mastermind and Frank LaMark will give it to you.
I'll do that.
Become friends with Frank and he can help you out.
What state are you in? What state are you in, man?
I'm in Barrington, actually, Illinois. I'm not far from you guys.
I want you to write this number down. His name's Vince Incomparo. He's my attorney. He will make you, if you guys know him, you probably, or if you're in deals with me, you've talked to him, and he will make you crack up.
Nolan, just for example, that's why like your 50K investment, just to say, this is what I teach. Like say you like the space, that's STR, but you like the long term. You invest with Frank in a deal, and like you're on his team as an LP. You're getting paid monthly if the deal gives monthly, or the refi, or if it's pays out in 1 year. But then like say you need something like that. Hey Frank, got a question about the sub twos. You can't, of course, to talk to you. Of course, I'll help you. I'll send you my contract, man. That's what I'm talking about. Like, getting in, stuff like that. But if you're looking for long-term, what do you look for? Long-term rentals or short-term rentals?
Short-term rentals, I know, can bring in, a bit more cash flow, depending on what price you get it at. But what I'm interested in, honestly, anything that will bring a good cash flow in, because I have a background in real estate, rehabbing houses,
Okay.
contractor work. I know the ins and outs.
You know what I'll do? I'll give you, reach out to me. Take my number down. Text me. I'll give you a free 45-minute call.
right.
Whatever you need. You need a contract. We have all this stuff. I have it between Jake and Gino community, which is humongous, and my MIH. I have Gino's my brother. I'm in that community. I have a speed of resources. I'll get on with you. Let me know what you need. And like Frank just did, me and Frank will hook you up with people and we'll give you a little bit of free education. Why? I'm not selling anything. We're go-givers.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Because I'm just tired of watching the YouTube videos. I want to get started.
You can educate for 2-3 years, but then you actually need somebody that's a good person that can get you started and not pitch. I'm not going to pitch you to join anything or Jake and you. I'm going to give you a little help. And then one day when the time is right, when you meet good people, then go from there. That's why you're on tonight. All right. So text me. I'll text my calendar. I think I'm booked for 2 weeks, but in a couple weeks I'll jump on with you. Okay.
All right. Frank, you sent that number in.
Yeah, to answer your question, with a sub 2, it's essentially just a purchase contract and put on there purchase price subject to mortgage. And every real estate contract, and at least in Illinois, there's a couple boxes. There's one, articles for agreement of deed, cash, subject to mortgage. Most realtors have never even checked 2 of those boxes before because they just don't get it, right? Articles for agreement of deed, it's got to be fair, in my opinion. I'm not a shark. I want it to be fair with both parties. I don't want, because you're going to be stuck. You're married with that seller for a while, right? I mean, you want it to be, you don't want them to be feeling that they got taken advantage of. So don't try and like pull shoddy things in the contract. It's basically just an agreement. Vince can hook you up with a good agreement, and then we're constantly changing and evolving that articles for agreement of deed because the seller, as attorney, will always try and rip it to shreds or make it one-sided. And I'm always about, listen, fair deals. Like I won't even deal with a seller if he's trying to be like shady, and I'll actually smell that out. Like I'll know, okay, there's something fishy about this, and I always have my guard up too. So if somebody's like, yeah, I'll absolutely do sub 2, I'll absolutely do seller financing, I'll take a step back and be like, okay, why? Let me really research this. Let me do my due diligence. What's wrong with the property? Is it in a flood zone? Is it bad foundation? What is his real pain, not what he's telling me it is. So always keep that in the back of your mind. Be street smart. A lot of people in here are extremely smart, a lot smarter than me, but I've got a lot of street smarts. I grew up in the city, so I'm gonna take somebody's word for it for a grain of salt. But absolutely reach out to Vince. He can help you out when it comes there, and then come hang out with us too since you're local, man.
Frank, quick question: when you do seller financing, how long do you usually do it for? I mean, the length of term. I know you don't like balloons at the end, probably, right? So
No.
if you do, how long is your hold? And then,
the 8-unit motel we have, I have no balloon on it. It's 25-year AM. We just negotiated from 30 to 25. Majority of them are minimum 5 years. If
Gotcha.
I had to, I love the property, 5 years, only because if the market tanks, gives us time to rebound. And I always put a 1-year extension on there. If you don't want a 1-year extension, then don't do the deal, all because you might need it, right? You can't, like I got screwed before COVID, right? And I couldn't reposition out of it where I had to sell cash flowing assets I didn't want to. So always and then have backup plans, right? To your contingency plans. If the short-term rental laws change, can I rent it 30 days or more? If I can't do that, can I sell it? So don't overpay too much. Overpay a little bit. If you could get out of it in 3 years or so, at least break even. So to answer your question, a minimum of 5 years with a 1-year extension.
Gotcha. But let's say if in the year 15, a seller, used to be a seller, comes back to you and he has like a life-changing event, and he says, "Hey, listen, just pay me, let's say, a lump sum of 15 grand or 10 grand, and I'll forget the whole thing."
Happens.
Did that ever happen to you?
Absolutely, I love it.
Yeah.
Or give them a bottle of wine.
Gotcha.
After that. Yeah, health problems, right? I may have a life-changing event. My kids don't want the property. Can you give me money to just get done with? Because I don't want to wait anymore. I've had all the time that happens. So if you got money, bring in another partner. Then if you don't got the money.
Right. And did you ever, when you do a subject to, you take, obviously, you have to pay somebody's loan off. So if you have that what is that called? The undue clause or something like that, when the banks will make you a due on sale clause. Yeah, there you go. So did that ever happen to you? Did the banks contact you and be like, hey, listen, since you're holding the note now, and
Sure.
you know, I mean, did that ever happen?
It hasn't, it will. It's just they do enough deals, like with any experience, you're gonna have a fire, right? You're gonna have a flood, right? You're gonna have tenants that don't pay you, right? It's gonna happen. So be prepared for it. Yeah, gotta have your contingencies to get out of that deal, right? Either sell it, but majority of them, 99.99% of them are bigger banks, Chase, Wells Fargo. They're not gonna call that loan. It'll be your smaller community banks, and it'll be more commercial loans because they're looking at those portfolios. They're coming to the board of directors. They're looking at these mortgages and be like, are they performing? They're up in a balloon in 5 years. Your normal residentials, no, they're not going to. As it happened, absolutely, it's going to happen. Just be prepared.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Is that it, guys? Frank, I actually stayed on. My call's coming for a little bit.
Thank you.
Just want
I might- I have one question.
Yep,
It's
go
like a
ahead.
real basic question, but why would somebody want to have you take over their mortgage and then they make essentially no money on it, right? Because you're just taking over their mortgage. So you're just paying their mortgage. They make no money, right?
Good question. I get, yeah, a seller would ask me that. Why in the world would I sell it to if they're negative equity and they don't have the money to sell their house and they're relocating? If they have a lot of money and they don't need the money, they'll do seller financing because you're going to give them an awesome interest rate, right? It's a second home. It's been vacant and they don't really care to sell it. They don't want the capital gains tax. With mostly like a subject to and taking over their mortgage, you're giving them the equity, right? They're stuck on their price of $1 million and they won't move on it for nobody. I'll give them the million. Okay, I want 100,000 my equity. I just refinanced the property. I only have 100,000 equity. I'll give them the 100 grand. Essentially, I got $1 million property for 100. So every case is different, but that's the number one question I get asked by everybody is why in the world would somebody be crazy enough to do that? Well, it's their pain level. Everyone's has pain, rich or poor. We all have the same problems, just at different degrees. So if you can learn to kind of sniff that out and create a solution to it creatively, instead of just like most realtors do, again, no offense to realtors, when they say, I can't sell this house unless we short sell it. Why? Why are you going to short sell it? Bring somebody like me that's subject to a mortgage. They could, if they're behind on their payments, I could get them current on their payments, increase their credit. They could go buy another house a couple of years down the road. And they're negative equity on top of it. Instead of trying to short sell it, and then they got a short sell on there. And as you know, I mean, probably not now, but back in the day, the banks would come after them for that gap. They'd sue them for that money. Now they won't because of COVID and all that fun stuff. But yeah, there's a multitude of reasons why people would to do it. Those are just some examples.
Oh, one last question. I'm sorry, guys. Do you use third-party servicing company? You obviously don't like Venmo them the money, do you?
I literally go on their website or do automatic payments right from our checking account. I don't
Really? You don't do the third-party servicing company like SLS servicing or something like that?
Well, if you're a Pace Moby and you got 7,000 properties, you're going to need a servicing company. Yeah, but right now I got under 100. Once I get up to a couple of them, then yeah, absolutely, I'm going to need to.
Okay.
Yeah, but he has his own title company. He's got his own attorneys on hand. He's pretty big time. He's the 300-pound gorilla. So shout out to Pace. You're going to watch my video one day.
Yeah, yeah. No, why I asked that is because the third-party servicing company, if decreases your debt to income ratio. So if a seller goes back to a bank after a year, they can say, hey, listen, my my loan is being serviced by a third-party servicing company. So get this thing off my basically credit, so they can purchase another house, so they can get
100%.
another loan.
Easier, just show them 3 canceled checks. It won't technically get them off their credit. It'll get them off their balance sheet, and boom, they're done.
Cool. Thank you. Sorry, everybody, to
Oh no, man, keep them coming. We'll cut it short soon because I know people want to go eat and whatnot. But any other last requests? Going once, going twice. Okay, one more. Let's go, Barrington.
The last one. Marco said he'd send me his contact info. I don't know if he jumped off yet. No, there he is.
I'm right here. It's in the chat right there. 914-615-1859. It's look up in the chat right above where you put your number. Oh, no, it's not there.
Frank's message is there, but I don't see anything else.
Yeah, here, one sec. I'm putting in the chat right before we say goodbye to everybody.
I'll put mine in and Bailey will as well, guys. Got any questions offline you wanna?
I'll put mine in the chat. Yep, I'm actually glad you asked. If anybody wants my number, was in the presentation earlier, but it's,
Awesome, there it is.
yep, right there. Yep, and last thing, guys, really, a lot of great people on here. I want to mention a few great people to reach out to. Chad Gorman, he's in my mastermind. If you haven't met him, reach out to him. He's in a bunch of deals, heavy lifts with Robert Musso, student housings, long-term rentals. Let's see who else. Travis Gibson, I already mentioned. There was one other person that I saw that it might have jumped off. Now it's not coming to me. Oh, Amory Sheldon's on here. That she's doing crash pads and she has long-term rentals and she invests in LP. She's getting one of her LP positions back. She might be investing in my 108. And so Anne Marie, if you guys see Anne Marie right there, great to reach out to you. Anne Marie, say hello.
Yeah, thanks, Marco.
Yeah.
Yeah, really appreciate all of your encouragement and mentorship. It's been awesome.
Thank you, Anne Marie. Awesome. So yeah, and then the last thing, guys, if you like, I actually have 38 deals. Last thing I want to end with, 38 multifamily deals, and over 3,000 units. I have one short-term rental. Can you guys guess who it's with? It's with Frank. I wanted to do one. I don't know the space. I'm so good at if I wasn't so good at multifamily, I probably have more. But I'm so good at multifamily that I don't need to do a lot of them. But I did one. I want to do it with Frank. You know, and there's other people on here that are in my group that are doing short-term rentals, like Nancy. If I did one, I'd do it with Nancy Wong on the bottom. Nancy and Psych-Hit. And Psych-Hit and Nancy have raised for one of my deals. They raised about $300,000. I'm teaching them how to track money too. So they're doing multifamily also. They're doing multifamily and short-term rentals. So guys, listen to some of the names tonight. Reach out to them, network. If you haven't met Frank, he loves to network. Everybody who's on this call, if you don't know him, you should reach out to him. Just plant that seed, build that relationship. You never know. Thank you for coming. Have a good night. Frank, you want to say something?
Yeah, thank you again, everyone, for coming and listen to us ramble about how passionate we are about real estate, and hopefully we can talk some more offline.
Yep. Have a great night, guys. Thank
Everyone.
you.
Thank you,
Everyone.
guys.
Thank
Guys.
you. Bye.